Castle, Executive Director of the Art Museum of Southeast Texas. And I am going to talk to you a little bit today about what my job is like at the museum and talk a little bit about the museum. I am not at the museum today. I'm actually at home due to the mandate to stay home by Mayor Becky Ames because of the coronavirus. But we are making an effort to have a large social media presence. Since we can't have visitors into the museum, we hope that you will get online and look at many of our videos that we've done on YouTube about hands-on art activities and tours through the current exhibitions. And with me I have my little friend Simone. She's my pet, and since I'm at home, she wanted to join in on the video.
What do you do day to day?
So I like to compare myself to, in a way, to a juggler, a person that is twirling many plates at once, because there's many different facets to my job, and my job never gets boring because there's so many things going on. So basically what I do is I manage a staff of, there's total 16 people that work at the museum. And then I also make every effort to keep my board informed of our activities. We have both a board of 16 people and an advisory board of 30 people, and they are advocates of the museum and huge supporters of the museum, and so we keep them engaged in all of our activities and also notified of any things that are coming up and any additions or changes in staff. And then they also help a lot with me managing the budget. So there's a lot of different facets to my job. I try to keep the museum running as well as I can. Try to keep many different things happening. I meet with a lot of committees. I make sure that we have the right amount of funding to make our programs work. And I oversee all of the departments: education, the curatorial department, PR, building and maintenance, events coordination, and membership and development. So I oversee all of those things, and then, but mainly one of my main jobs is to write grants. I write a lot of grants for the museum, and I really enjoy writing grants. That's one of my favorite facets of my job. And then I also make sure that when, say, if someone's gone from their department, that I make sure that things that need to get done in their department get done too. So I never have boring days. I always have something interesting to do, and I'm working in several different areas of the museum all the time. So I rarely am in my office all day. I'm usually all over the museum.
What are your favorite exhibits?
So that's a really hard question to answer. My favorite exhibits always just happen to be the exhibit that's up at the current time. I always love the exhibits that we have up. Every time we put up a new exhibit, I'm super excited about it, and it's sort of like reading a really good novel. You just can't wait till you get to the next chapter to see what we're going to show next. And also, one of the joys about the exhibits is meeting the artists. We work almost primarily with living artists, and I wouldn't say exclusively because it's not exclusively, but probably about 95% of our exhibits are dealing with living artists from the region. And so that's one of the great things is working with the artwork first, but then having the opportunity to get to know the artists and working with the artists, especially when they're installing their exhibits or when they come in to talk about their exhibitions.
What is your advice for artists?
So my advice to artists is to persevere and keep making art. Stay true to yourself. Don't, I know it sounds not realistic because we know that everybody needs to make a living, but it's really wonderful for me and I can really, because I've been in the business so long, I can really tell when artwork is authentic and when it really comes from the heart and soul of the artist. A lot of times artists really look like their artwork, and those are the artists that are really true to themselves. They really, when they come walking in the door and you see them and you listen to them talk, you know that the art is coming from within, it's coming from themselves. And so that would be my advice, is stay true to yourself, stay creative. And then the other thing is too, stay engaged in the art world. Go out and look at art and know what other artists are doing. Get inspired by other artists. And it's not just going to art galleries, but to go to art museums, go to alternative art spaces, and many disciplines. Many different disciplines of art, not only visual arts, but dance. There's some really creative films out there. There's all kinds of things.
What is your favorite part about working at AMSET?
It's a learning environment, it's an intellectual environment, it's very stimulating. Everybody there is very bright and talented, and I really enjoy, as a director, capitalizing upon people's strengths and bringing out their strengths, not only in my staff, but also in my board. I've noticed that there are some board members that can raise money, and there's other board members that give a lot of money, and then there's other board members that are able to get the community engaged, and then there's some board members that do all three. And so I really think that that's one of my strengths as a director, is to capitalize on people's strengths and get them to utilize their strengths as much as possible to the benefit of the museum.